What is happening, fishers? Dino from Untraceable Fishing here once again tonight with Don from Bullmore Fishing Tackle, and welcome to Tackle Tuesday. So we've got quite an interesting facet of fishing rods on the table for you tonight, guys. We're looking at the 5 to 7 ounce rock and surf rod, predominantly 15-foot rods. So Don, why would you choose a 5 to 7 ounce rod?
We've had a couple of casting days lately, and a lot of guys ask us what rod should we buy. It's very much the go-to thing nowadays. And a lot of anglers, you might start off on like a 3 to 4 ounce or something like that, or 2 to 4 ounce, and you've got a lacquer scratching type rod, but then maybe you hook a big silver or you hook a raggy or something like that, and you get totally cleaned up.
Yeah.
And you want a rod that's capable of throwing bigger sinkers, bigger baits. And a lot of guys go the whole hog to like a 6 to 8 ounce, or even a 7 to 9 ounce rod. And that's stepping up a lot.
It is stepping up a lot. And it takes a bit of experience to step up to a rod like that as well.
Quite a few of my customers, I've been using the top of the range ones, say they're struggling a bit to cast that 8 ounce type sinker.
It's correct. It's not easy.
It's not easy. You've got to have certain styles of casting and strength to actually get it right. So like a teenager on a 6 to 8 ounce rod like that's going to struggle.
Great.
So you've got to be realistic sometimes. I do believe that a 6 ounce to me is the optimum sinker for throwing for distance. Yeah. I think an 8 ounce is way harder to load and will never travel quite as far as a 6 ounce. So that's where the 5 to 7 ounce comes in. It's a happy medium. You can go down to a 5 ounce, up to a 7 is a decent bait on it. Like an all-round rod, I can probably handle most sharks I'm going to encounter.
I think you'll handle most of them.
Put it this way, if you can catch them on a grinder that's got enough line capacity, the rod won't hinder you.
I was actually having a conversation with one of the guys at work today, and I said to him, it's more coming down to how much capacity of line you got in the rod. You know what I mean? I'm not talking 3 to 5 ounce rod, but 5 to 7.
So your rod serves two purposes. It's got a cost, and it's got to have pulling power to help you land the fish and turn the fish. But I think a 5 to 7 ounce has got enough of that.
100%.
Nothing we're looking at here is not a decent rod as far as turning it. Bar a couple of the budget ones, and we've got to cover that. So should we start on the very budget ones?
Let's start right on the bottom here. So we're going to start even with the Loomis and Franklin Surge.
It's the Loomis and Franklin Surge. Okay, there's basically an Akuma wave power as well. They're sister rods. If you are in the very bottom of the market, I'd probably suggest going for the Loomis Surge. Just got the forward canting eyes and a little bit better. It's a 15-foot rated 5 to 7 ounce. That sells for well below $1,500, folks. Sounds amazing. Yeah. But it is quite light, eh?
It is quite a light rod, yeah.
It is quite light. Should we weigh it?
Let's put it on the scale. So we're going to do something different tonight, guys. Let's see what this...
sometimes. Okay. Ding, ding, ding. 736 grams. That's pretty light.
That's quite good for a rod in its price caliber.
Okay, but in the lower price ranges here, guys, lightweight does not equal strong.
Correct.
And unfortunately, the quality of carbon fiber, it's not a big shark rod. You're not going to launch out half a mackerel on this.
Half a kilo bait, you're not going to handle it.
For edible type fishing, if you're going for carbon net, nothing wrong.
Perfect. So a nice, decent sized live bait?
Decent live bait, decent carb bait, but you can't push this to the nth degree. It's a good rod for the right angler. If you're on an extreme budget, certainly you can get into the game. But don't expect to pull 200 kg raggies on this.
Yeah,
it's not that kind of rod. The odds of you snapping it or being disappointed during a fight are there. But for the right angler, I know the rock and surf guys down in Cape Town in particular. Yeah, they love these things in the surf there for their cob.
Correct.
And the big nose.
Big nose, and even if you get a little spotted gully or something, will handle it.
No, certainly it's a decent rod. But as I say, it's on a budget, and sometimes your budget does kind of cut some corners to get there. And I think that's kind of the
where it's sitting.
Okay, then interestingly enough, we've got some new ones that came through from Adrenaline. Is that the Adrenaline?
No, there's Adrenaline there.
What am I looking at here? Yeah, because that's higher up the scale.
Okay.
We're working our way from the bottom up as far as price guys. So Adrenaline is a South African company. They've certainly marched their beat to their own drum. They had a 14-foot and also a 2-piece in this. So there's a 2-piece 14-foot.
And a 3-piece.
And a 3, was a 13-foot. Now 13-foot 2-piece, 14-foot 3-piece. It was quite interesting. Got a very different texture as far as rubberized
for a surf rod, eh? Yeah.
Again, a la some of the brands out there, adjustable bonding finger, which you can move. In my own testing, I found no major advantage on that. Yeah. I tried in different positions, just felt exactly the same.
Also quite interesting,
almost carp style. split grip. Decent quality carbon fiber.
Almost wrapped quite nicely.
Almost over-engineered.
Yeah.
Fuji guards, from what I can recall.
It looks like Fuji guards.
Yeah, Fuji guards. Strong.
Yeah.
Solid. This, I think I could handle a decent rate.
Correct.
Okay, we were 736 on that one.
Yeah, let's have a look. Then we're looking at a little bit over 800, yeah? Not bad.
Yeah, we've gone up to 808 gram.
Not a big difference. 10%
But I can
difference.
feel that
A little bit extra weight.
now that weight is starting to make me trust the rod more. Okay, and then next up we go to Noshi.
Yeah, this Noshi.
Noshi.
I think that is in the price. Sorry, that's
Yeah,
the
there
wrong
we
one.
go. Okay, Harti Rise has got a tremendous following in South Africa, guys. For good reason. They cast exceptionally well. They cast easily. So very forgiving action in the cast. I think if you're the kind of angler who's maybe not the largest or the most experienced or powerful, or you're really bad at your timing,
Yeah.
a Harti Rise certainly should be on your short list.
It's going to help you a long way.
It should be on your short list. This is the Tanashi again, 15 foot, 5 to 7 ounce. Nicely stacked up, eh?
Beautiful looking rod, this. I like it.
I like it's got like a black, but it's got like a glitter in,
little speckle in it.
which is very, very cute. Decent guides as well throughout. I know and trust these well. I think they're a good rod. Haven't had enough time to really cast and know one well yet, but I think certainly, so you can see we guys a vague thing now. We've jumped from 2 to almost 3 grand.
We started looking at a rod that's a capable rod now, fully capable rod.
So now at about 3 grand, and now I've got a rod here that can pretty much cover all the bases.
Correct.
The compromises have gone out the window now. My cast ability and my pull ability have got to a level now you can fully trust.
Yeah. The sense that you're going to start getting the benefits, the sensitivity and
I'm
things.
going to
start
put it
coming
in the
through.
scale as a matter of interest.
Let's have a look.
It feels a good deal lighter than we're looking at there.
Oh, you're quite sharp, eh? 780.
780, so not that less lighter. But a good rod. I'd completely recommend these to a lot of anglers. They're certainly a good stick. Then I must admit, forgive me, honey, I fell in love. We had an Assassin casting day. And I've got a rod which I have to put on my short list. The new Assassin Bluefish 2 XT 15 foot extra heavy number 6.
The number 6.
We had this the casting day. I had 2 casts with it, and then I said to the other guys, "Come, you got to feel this rod.
Yeah,
see this thing casts."
Yeah, Assassin they've done their homework to design this rod.
It's a new blank, and Jono, who did the homework, he said to me, the guys were getting 220 meters on this, and I kind of laughed at him. And after having a couple of casts, I can believe it.
Yeah,
I wasn't pushing 220. We had 18,000 Tesoro.
20,000 Tesoro.
20,000 Tesoro on this
50-pound braid, 180-pound braided leader.
Yeah, no, we were heavily geared.
Yeah.
But this thing just hoiks, eh?
Yeah, this thing was...
I think I was pushing like 130, 140 meters on our first cast.
And I still said to you, not even putting in...
It's an easy
cast. It's an easy cast.
Just a normal stand.
Why are you not pushing it?
And like, wow.
Yeah.
Also, just about 3 grand.
Yeah.
Though. So we're getting the Fuji guards throughout. For those of you who haven't seen the new Bluefishes, they're pretty much the same kind of spec as you got a Bluefish Zero, the same kind of coloration, neoprene bag nowadays. Only real differences are that the Zero still has a Fuji winch, it's an Assassin winch, but they've added like a carbon fiber insert just to lighten up the butt slightly. But brand new blank and tremendously impressed.
Yeah, they've really come through on this one.
I'm actually thinking this is one I need to find a reel for, and it needs to become my heavier setup. And
I'll agree with you.
And I'm going to be naughty and just weigh it again. So I think this is so not light, eh?
I think you're looking about 780 as well. 786.
760 almost on a par. Okay.
Yeah.
So there we've got some good rods. But being Black November and this time of the year and
why not just splurge a little bit, guys?
The deals are there. And there are a number of rods that were retailing at like 6-7 grand, which you can now get for less than 5 grand.
Yeah.
Oh, that like adds an interest. And what I found in personal experience, we've got a Beachmaster here. We haven't got a Beachmaster here.
It's on this side.
Actually, it should be amongst this.
Yes, that's fine. We're going to pass it along.
Okay, I'm going to talk about my personal rod. Should we do one first?
Let's do
my personal rod. This is my personal rod. I'm using a 4 to 6 ounce.
I've got the right tips here for it. I think I do. Yes,
the 5 to 7 would be the number 6. So all the rods here, if you know what Assassin's coding are number 6s. I love my Beachmaster. I really do. They've got a certain feel to them that's forgiving on your timing. They push a distance cast-wise well, but they're not too much rod. They're not super light. They're not super sensitive. That medium that's so good.
Good, yeah.
And taking off like hotcakes. I've yet to find a guy who gets one of these and says, I don't like it.
No, they're definitely not good.
They are super nice.
You're definitely getting 4 stars across the boxes on this.
I think in many ways it reminds me a lot of the previous Horizon. This to me has got a lot of that experience in the blank and that. And lovely deep blue, and then just going to a normal black. Nice little blue trim. I really enjoy the feel. And I find sensitivity-wise as well, that's enough of a rod that I can feel like my sinker moving, and if a bluefish comes into it,
you
I can
those
feel that
boxes
as
are
well.
ticked from this rod upwards.
And that definitely, you don't quite get that in the lower ones you looked at yet.
Correct.
That ultra sensitivity. Interestingly, I'm going to weigh again. Should we weigh again?
Yeah, take off that weight. Those little, you need to take off about 15 grams for those little.
I'm not going to worry about the little plastic thingies.
Yeah, so we're looking at
704 grams.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see where your money is getting. Put it amongst the expensive babies. So for under $5,000, you can get a Beachmaster 2. It is the new one. I'm going to pause and ask you a question. Do we have the older Beachmaster still here?
No, because we couldn't. I think they
couldn't
get one.
Couldn't they find one?
Get one in stock. Maybe at Beacon Bay.
Okay, there is an older Beachmaster as well, so don't get the two models confused.
Phenomenal rod that day.
Phenomenal rod, also 5 to 7 ounces. I think it's a 14'6" if I'm not mistaken. Strong. Really good reputation.
I've got 2 of my mates that fish them to this day still.
Not quite as light as what you're looking on the Beachmaster 2, but they're like $2,500, dude.
A definite bargain buy.
At that price, if you want a good 5 to 7 ounce rod, it would be on my short list.
That thing's solid. I've seen some proper fish come out of that rod.
They can pull like hang. Okay, and then before we get to your pretty one, I know you guys have got quite a lot of experience on the Kuma Mariana.
Andrew and I both fished with these rods.
I've cast these a bit as well at the casting day, and I certainly enjoyed them. Got a lovely casting action.
Very, very nice casting action. Nice and sensitive.
You're getting premium spec Fuji guides throughout. Decent carbon fiber quality as well. Beautifully finished. The quality of finish and wrap, etc., is certainly worthy of a much more expensive rod. And you're usually retailing at like $6,500, $7,000. At the moment,
sub 5.
Also under 5,000.
That's a very good buy at the moment.
So at that price point, they're a very popular choice. And your input, Sam, what do you think about that?
Listen, guys, Mariana fished. Andrew owns 2 of them, so I do fish them quite often. Also, like Don said, quite an easy rod to cast. I won't say as easy as the bluefish or the which is the Tenoshi, but
yeah, it's an easy rod.
It's easy rod to cast. Maybe not as easy as those, but. When you do get your cast right on this, it is a machine.
It loads up nicely. Hey? I think just the
backbone's there, sensitivity is there.
And reasonably light.
Reasonably
sensitive.
It feels like a 7,000 Rand rod when you're fishing with it.
It does.
There we go. That's the easy way to explain it to you.
I must admit, I do think the Beachmaster and this are quite a ding-dong.
Yeah. No,
that's very close.
That'll be whatever you prefer in your hand.
A lot of there. Should we just go away while we're doing the weighting?
But
it doesn't seem to take me
I'm guessing.
Long.
Oh, close.
702. So Beachmaster and this is 5 grams lighter than the Beachmaster.
The Beachmaster, they have the little plasticky things on it.
So
they're probably about the same.
Okay, so you can see when you start spending, and Oaks say, oh, what is like 50 grams? It's 2 ounces, Oaks.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem to make a lot of difference until you're fishing in the howling wind.
Correct.
Or you surge.
Yeah.
Ironically, if I'm just going to skip back to the very cheapest rods, the cheapest rods here with a very soft type action are okay for casting.
Yeah.
But when the sea is big and they're surging in that thing, they're horrible to fish with. And that's when the too heavier rod also becomes horrible.
Yeah.
Lighter rod just helps you cope with the wind in that better. So sometimes the 2 or 3 grams makes a huge, ounces makes a huge difference.
It does make a big difference.
It's not talk grams. Then your
guys,
your pink passion.
This is beautiful, guys. I'm sorry.
Your pink passion.
I buy this rod just for the color. That is sexy.
You don't have to customize this one. It comes already pumped.
Okay. Do take into account these are 14'6". So
so these are 14'6" and 15', generally. Harti Ras, Kaya Suta.
Beautiful rod, guys. Also, very forgiving to cast.
Very forgiving to cast. Got a massive reputation for casting for easy loading, even big baits.
Correct.
What's their slogan? You don't know what we know?
Yeah, correct.
Although I always chirp up about it. Stunning finish throughout. A couple of interesting things to note. First guide, not the highest.
No, it's quite
so the tech in the rod is a bit different to everything else you're looking at.
I think it's going to do with the bend on the rod,
a little more slimline than some would be. Good reputation. Feels a smidgen light compared to some of these though. In the Harti Rise, they also do like a 6 to 8 ounce and a 7 to 9 ounce. Those are very popular at the boys as well. Also, reasonably priced at the moment. But I think the colour is what you like.
No, the colours, I absolutely love it.
Should we get away?
Let's get all the way. Just do take into account it's a 14'6" guys, but it's still going to have a decent weight on it. 670 grams, which makes about sense for its length. So I think you're in that...
Yeah, about 700 grams for a 15-footer.
But you're in that Beachmaster range, Beachmaster Mariana range.
Good
they're going phenomenal price at the moment.
Yeah, under $5,000.
Yeah.
I think 4,999 with some
and they were,
hooks and
what they were 6,999 at one stage, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Somewhere around there.
So you're saving a couple of grand at the moment. Dividing these up, everything up to about the Tenoshi and bluefish, I think will do the job for most anglers.
Correct.
And can I be very honest myself, I'd have no hassle fishing that.
No.
If you put that in my hand and said, this is your rod for the rest of your life, Don,
more than
I'm
happy.
I can hoy,
I agree with you.
I can winch. But once you've tried something a little better, and you'd be surprised how much better at that 5,000-ish mark.
There's quite a significant jump.
Your fishing experience escalates. You feel every nudge. Yeah. Your castability of odd things. Like I tried a 3 ounce on my one's a 5 to 6 ounce.
Yeah.
And I tried a 3 ounce log. Gee, it went far.
And it still can maintain. You can use that weight. Yeah.
I can comfortably load a 3 ounce and I can use it for bluefish.
Correct.
And I can put a 6 ounce on almost a sharky size bait and still survive the rod.
Correct.
So there is definitely a better experience there. It's like we were talking about driving cars. When you hop into your favorite German sedan, it feels better than a VW does.
Correct.
It's got that premium feel to it. The nice thing is now, guys, the premium feel starts at about sub $5,000.
Yeah.
Where premium feel can go way above that.
To almost 10,000.
So now we need to explore. We've got some stunning rods here.
Yeah.
South African anglers think we spoiled for choice. These are of the best rock and surf rods in the world. I don't think Australia or America come close to us.
Not once.
They're falling in love with a lot of these rods. But let's just investigate now in part 2. If I go up the scale, what am I getting?
You've got a couple of extra bucks to spend.
I got it.
Or you want to spoil yourself.
You know what? I don't get to fish too often. I do fish too often. And I want the best.
The best.
I want no excuses, and I want to enjoy what I'm doing. So let's investigate that in
so what
part
do we
2
first? So we've done the Beachmaster.
Okay, now interesting. We're going to go Evo. Got an Evo there?
I do have an Evo there. One of my favorites, guys.
Okay, Assassin Evo. Okay, not to confuse the old Evo. This is the Evo Zero Infinity Taper. Infinity Taper is a bit of it's a hard one to summarize in short words. I think a very different taper to almost any rod on the table here.
Correct.
Superbly light. While we're talking about joints, there are 2 different types of joints in most of these rods. You've got a conventional joint, like we all know, and you've got a spigot type joint. Basically, a spigot makes the bottom section be a male coming through. These, they're stuck to the conventional joint because of the action
of the rod.
So most of the Horizons and Beachmasters are spigot jointed. These, like the Mariana was also spigot joint. These are made particularly for that action. My takeaway on them is slimline rod, very light, beef in the bottom. Little more give on the tip. Little more give on the tip.
The Evas are renowned for.
It's the kind of rod that if you time your casting well, it rewards you massively. It's a little less forgiving when you're a tired caster, lazy caster, inexperienced caster even. It's the kind of, it's a precision tool.
Yeah. But it's more of a snap in the cast on these.
These things you can pop.
Yeah,
it's
very snappy cast you need.
And you need to get that acceleration at the end of your cast and pop it through. But stunning. Really, really nice rod. A lot of competition anglers, this is the baby of choice. They only buy a number 6. This number 6 will cover anything from a blacktail to a bronzy.
Great.
That's a good all-rounder rod. Doesn't compromise any strength in those joints at all. Superbly light. I mean, the weight in that.
This is light. Well, this is like ridiculously light.
That is ridiculously light. Okay. And we are also looking at a 15-footer.
15 foot. That's a 15 yard.
Full 15 foot. Should we get a weight?
I definitely get a weight.
Just so we're not just talking nonsense about things once, like they say we always do.
Yeah.
626 grams. Guys, it's 3 ounces lighter than the Beachmaster. Yeah.
That's a bit.
That's
Pick up a 3 ounce sinker, that's a bit of weight.
And can I say this thing? I don't think it's no weaker.
No,
I think it's a little bit stronger. Okay. Now the good news, guys, is the good bad news. is all things on special this time of year. And where we got some lovely rods up to $5,000 here, $6,000 will get you Evo.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've never been at $6,000 before. Let's
That's not bad at all.
get you $1 change. 5,999 for an
It was
Evo.
a 7,500 rand rod at one stage, I think, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 months ago.
2 months ago.
Yeah. Okay. Very, 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 very different rod here. This is the one Harti rise that got me super excited.
This is the rod.
You know, there's rods and there's rods.
Yeah.
And this is the Harti rise Sakana. Where I criticize the Kayasuta a little bit in my mind is it's a soft, easy loading. I see lots of like there, but I'm not seeing that thing that's going to help me get my furthest cast of my life.
Correct.
And I'm not seeing the thing that'll help me pull an outsized fish of my life.
Oh,
you know,
yes, yeah.
like the best fishing experience I can possibly get. And this is stepping up into that zone. There are 2 rods here that do that in that zone. Again, surprisingly conventional
joints. Yep. There's a reason for it though.
All about the action. Quality of carbon fiber and guard and finish
I think the best you can get.
Is superb. Beautifully finished. For those of you who know a little bit about carbon fiber, as soon as you pick these up, there's a tautness, there's a spring and
responsiveness.
Energy.
Yeah.
Picture like you're running down and you do a pole vault. They've got that poing.
Yeah.
And that can't be explained on camera. You've got to feel that. Where a lot of rods just go, this thing goes, wing.
Yeah.
It's got Viagra to the nth degree.
But the carbon fiber puts itself back into position quickly after.
It does.
Yeah.
And it loads up superbly well. It's super light. Yeah. What's your guess here? Let's see what you're going to guess. I don't think it quite pips the Evo though.
No, it's not going to pip the Evo. I'd say 680.
680. Should I have a look see quickly?
I'm just guessing here, guys.
No, it's a good guesser.
Not bad.
672. Yeah, close boy. But guys, Sakana not cheap. So you're bouncing up the price point here. I think heading towards that $8,000 mark. So they are a little bit higher up the scale. And if you're a Harti Rise fan and you want a rod that's going to take you to the next level, I do think the Harti Rise Sakana is pushing the development envelope. And then another rod I've had the privilege of casting lately in the surf and that is the Assassin Horizon Zero Championship Edition. Can enough be said about this rod?
No, the cream of the crop.
I think we label this as the best rock and surf rod in the world.
Hands down.
I stand by that statement.
Yeah, so do I.
I had a cast of the number 5, and I think a number 6 would actually impress me more. I found the number 5 was a little too slimline on the bat for me. I got big mitts. Beautiful deep blue. I think they've added in the green as well, like a Protea green.
Yeah.
But everything is the best here. Superb winch. Carbon technology like you've never seen before. These things, they claim compared to the older Horizon of an Evo, twice as strong. So again, we've gone for a spigot joint here, which is superbly strong. This is all about strength. It's easy casting. I must admit, there's
no, it's not difficult.
No mega superb timing or strength required to cast these for.
But I found don't try to cast this rod hard. The rod's going to cast for you.
Yeah, no, just load it up and do this thing.
And it does the thing.
You don't have to break these in any way. And wonderfully sensitive. You can feel every
sensitive is in a different.
You can feel your sinker going.
It's in a different league,
rolling along, and amazingly light. I think you're getting to the level where if I'm doing like a 12-hour session in the surf, this would be my rod of choice.
100%.
You know, if the wind's howling, this would be my rod of choice. And I think if you've got the budget to go $8,000 plus, this has to be on your shortlist there. There are very few rods that'll even compete with it, let alone beat it. So should we wait just a minute?
We've got to weigh the horizon.
We've got to weigh the horizon. Very, very carefully so don't scratch the princess. Okay, I can't bring it back away, but...
630s? Yeah,
632. Sure, okay. That might not sound like a ton, Oaks, but 3 ounces lighter. Up to 7-8 ounces lighter than a bluefish.
Yeah. Also, what you've got to take into consideration the amount of strength you're getting at that weight.
At the weight.
I think that is the more effective.
The fact that it's twice as strong and 8 ounces lighter than some of the other rods. So what we're talking about being twice as strong is if you do hook into 200 kg Bonzi, that rod you can literally pull till your arms are popping.
You can use your body weight to pull the rod.
You can trust that the rod's not just going to shatter on you.
Yeah.
And I think that trust is quite important. The trust can be achieved in a 3,000 Rand rod. But when you start pushing above that, the top of the range rods. So guys, yeah, 5 to 7 ounce. I think they cost better than 68 ounces.
Easier to cost.
They're much easier to cost you. The average Joe, this is the rod to cost. I think you can still use them as excuse for big silvers and carbon.
Yes, 100%.
Live baits and that. They're
Beautiful.
a little more versatile as well. And they would be my rod of choice.
Yeah.
If the public's any indication in assassin, we mainly sell number 6s. 5s and 6s.
6s, yeah.
Very few guys go to a 7 because these rods are capable of handling big fish.
No, 100%.
So, guys, if you're in the market, last point, what braid and size reel do we go here?
Well, that's the nice thing about a 5 to 7 ounce, Don. You can fish it, as we discussed earlier, light.
Yeah.
You could fish at 10 and 14,000 on
Yeah,
it.
it's 10 and 14,000, maybe a 30 pound, 40 pound braid.
Or you could step up to 18, 20,000 if you wanted to get a bit challenging and
Or
told with bigger sharks.
like a conventional, like a BG 8,000,
yes,
or a pin
8,500 or
8,500, something like that. No problem
You can
whatsoever.
put some 50-pound braid on that
Some
and you can
50
fish
and
it.
65 pound
Right,
braid. You can really beef up, and the rod can handle either. And that'll say you can have one rod that can handle eds and sharks. Quite nice.
Yeah. So a lot of guys ask they want one rod that does it all. We all know there's no one rod that does it all, but I think in this is the closest you're going to get to one rod that does it all.
Cover the bases of eds and non-eds in South Africa.
This is going to be the closest you're going to get to that.
So guys, there are some amazing specials at the moment. Grab them while stock loss. It's not going to, these specials are not going to be running around next year. I can guarantee that.
Don't take your time. These things are selling out fast.
And if you need to know, just cook us a mail info@Balmoria or chat to us in the group. We can, on the comments below, we can advise you what reel we'd enjoy and that kind of thing. Gladly, we share our advice here. And for me, that's pretty much a wrap.
Yeah. Thanks, Don, for that. Very, very informative. I didn't even know there were so many 5 to 7 ounce rods available.
Yeah, no, this is
a lot. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us this evening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Untraceable Fishing on YouTube. Go check out Balmoria and take advantage of all their Black November specials. I know they've got some crazy specials next week, Friday, so stay tuned for those. But don't take too long. Get those orders in as soon as you can. Anyway, till next week, from Dean from Untraceable Fishing and Don from Balmoria Fishing Tackle. So Tackle Tuesday.